friends, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be testing and giving you my first impressions on the new Makeup by Mario collection. It launched yesterday online and in stores at Sephora. I stopped by my local Sephora and picked up a few products. I've got both the matte and the metallics eye palettes, so we're going to be playing and swatching both of these. I also picked up the Master Crystal Reflector. I picked up the bronzier shade, and I also got one of the primer and concealer palettes. So this is a eye primer and concealer, and I believe it has a powder in there to also set the under eye and lid. And then I also picked up the brightening pencil because, you know, I love a good brightening pencil. So those are the items that I purchased. I haven't even swatched, I haven't even played. That's actually not true. I did swatch the Crystal Reflector, and I'll give you my thoughts when we get to that part, but I haven't played in the eyeshadow or touched it. Obviously, we can't swatch products at Sephora, so this will truly be my first impression on the collection. A little background, I'm sure I don't need to give an introduction to who Mario is, but Mario is a celebrity makeup artist. He really made a name for himself by being Kim Kardashian's makeup artist. So I've been a fan of his for a long time. I think his makeup artistry is just so beautiful and glamorous. He's obviously a master at highlighting and contouring. He's a makeup artist that I have looked up to, so I'm really excited for him, and I'm excited to test his products. Okay, so first, I have applied foundation, bronzer, blush, all of that good stuff. I actually did apply concealer and then I removed it because I remembered we need to test this guy. So let's go ahead and start here. I got the shade Light. It came in 3 different shades. I took little screenshots on my phone so I can give you guys kind of the 411 on each product and give you the price points. So this Master Eye Prep and Set Light, well, the shade is Light, retails for $28. I'm just going to read you kind of what it says. This is taken directly from makeupbymario.com. It says, my Master Eye Prep set comes in 3 different colorways for every skin tone. Each set features 2 shades of primer, concealer in light and dark variations, and a translucent powder. So there you go. All right, let's go ahead and try. So I got the lightest shade. I felt like it was the most appropriate for my skin tone. So here is what the compact looks like. I'm going to pull it out a little bit so the light's not so blinding, but this is the translucent powder, okay? And it does look pretty light and translucent. Yeah, it has a slight like brightening to it, but it really does feel very light. Kind of reminds me of MAC blot powder in a sense. And then I have these 2 concealer shades. So I've got one that's definitely more peachy, and then a lighter one that's got more pink to it. Okay, so those are what the 2 shades look like on my skin tone. This looks very, very light. I think together though, the 2 will work well. So let's get started, shall we? I think I'm actually just going to use my finger to dig into the darkest concealer shade here. I think the lightest one is going to be too light. I can already tell, but I think it would work well, and we'll test it over the darker one. So I'm going to go in with the darker one first because it has more of that peachy tone to it. I think it's going to be, oh, actually that's pretty light. That is pretty light. I wonder if I should have gotten the medium. The medium just looked so dark there in Sephora, but after seeing how much lighter this goes on the skin than it looks in the palette, I'm thinking the medium might have been a better option for me because I have a feeling that this light shade in here is going to be way too light. Let's actually test it on the eye first. I want to test it on the eye by itself so you guys can see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's way too light. Darn, I got the wrong shade. Okay, well, let's just, you know, it's makeup, it can always be fixed. So I'm just gonna kind of blend and sheer this out. And I'm gonna go in with the darkest shade and fix that. So the consistency on it is, it's obviously a cream. It comes in this compact, it's a cream. It's not a thick cream though. It doesn't feel super thick. It looks like it's a good level of kind of a medium coverage. I don't know that I would call this full coverage off the bat in a concealer. You can sheer it out, actually. You can sheer it out and it becomes very, very natural and sheer looking on the skin. So I wouldn't say this is more of a heavier full coverage concealer. It kind of reminds me, if you have ever tried, like, is it the Bobbi Brown? I forget the name of it, but Bobbi Brown has a concealer that's in a compact like this. I don't usually purchase concealers like this. I always purchase concealers that you can squeeze out or that have a doe foot applicator. So this is kind of more of like an old school concealer. I'm gonna go and apply this under this eye. Yeah, even the darker shade is too light for me, you guys. Okay, so note that. This is definitely more for fair skin. It's so strange because the medium looked so dark. I feel like I should have gotten the medium just to compare the 2. Since there are only 3 options, I should have gotten 2 at least 2 to compare. So it gives good coverage. It does actually give good coverage. It feels lightweight. It blends really easily. This, I don't think you would need a brush to blend this. You could totally use your finger. Yeah, I like the formula. The shade is not right, but I like the formula. Of course, with concealer, it really requires a full day to you know, wear it underneath the eyes and see how it wears. I'll actually do a check-in at the end of this video, so I won't leave you guys hanging. I'll do a check-in so you can see how all the makeup is wearing. Okay, so we're gonna go on to the lid, and I'm gonna use the same color. They're saying that this can be a eye primer as well. Okay. And I'm just gonna use my finger to blend this out. So it doesn't feel like a super creamy emollient formula. It doesn't feel creamy or wet on the skin after you blend it out, if that makes sense. I've got eyelash glue in my lashes from yesterday. Okay, I feel like I need a little bit more on this side. Okay, that's nice. It blends out really easily and you can use your finger. Then next I'm gonna take the powder in here and we're gonna set under the eyes and we're also gonna set the lid. I'm using the BK Beauty 108 brush. I'm gonna look up so I can kind of set that crease. I already see it creasing, but really truly I see every concealer do that on me, so I don't, it's more of my, okay, that's nice. The powder does give it a little bit of a blurring softness effect. I do think that the powder kind of softened texture under the eyes. Let me zoom you guys in a little closer so you can see. Okay, so I do like it. I think that I could actually make that color work even though it is too light. I do think that it blended in. Obviously it gives a lot of highlight under the eye, but I think it works. Okay, next we're gonna go in with the eyeshadows. Now I'm gonna show you both palettes. Obviously I'm not gonna be able to use every shade in each palette, but we are going to try and use as much as we can. Okay, this is the Master Metallics palette, so we'll start here. This is what the palette looks like. I will also include some swatches here so you can see how they swatch. Whenever I do swatches, I just do swatches on dry skin. So I'm not gonna prep the skin with any primer or foundation or anything like that. I'm just gonna show you truly how they swatch. And then let's read a little bit about this palette and I'll give you guys price points. Okay, so the Master Metallics eyeshadow palette retails for $48. You get 12 creamy, luxurious shades that melt onto the lids. Ooh, I like the way that sounds. The Master Metallics palette is inspired by colors found within our bodies and represents my love of human nature. These creamy shadows deliver a range of chromatic effects from natural to intense with high impact shine. The Luxe formula can be used wet or dry to achieve a light wash of color or full coverage shine. Okay, interesting. And he says that he likes to use his fingers to achieve a beautiful intensity. Okay, now let's look at the matte palette and then we'll decide what kind of look we're going to create from there. So this is what the matte palette looks like. Obviously they are all mattes, all very neutral. There's definitely more of a warm presence here in the terms of the shades. This also retails for $48. Let's see what Mario has to say about this palette. This was the very first formula I developed for Makeup by Mario. These are my ride or die shades, uniquely shaded and inspired by human skin tones from light to deep. This custom professional matte palette has a feather light, creamy feel and applies evenly with medium, buildable, and blendable coverage. My favorite thing about this formula is that it offers superior grip and adherence with minimal fallout to achieve the cleanest application. Okay, well, there is a lot of promises there. Let's put this to the test. All right, so I am gonna go in and I'm gonna go ahead and start with my brow highlight, which is the obvious shade here for me. Let's pull these little stickers off of the palettes. And I'm going in with the BK Beauty 205. Okay, you get a nice level of payoff. I can definitely, there's some good color deposit there, but it also, I can see how you can sheer it out too. It's a good level of pigment, should I say. Especially with this shade being so white, I don't want it to be, you know, too intense and hard to blend out. That actually looks really, really nice. Okay, next we're gonna go in and build our crease. And I'm gonna start actually with this shade right here, the upper row, far right. And we're gonna take a BK Beauty 201 brush and okay, so when I go into the palette, I don't see a lot of shadow that kind of dusts up. You know, with some palettes, you do that and there's a lot of dust that comes up or color, you know, a pigment that, what am I trying to say? I think you know what I'm trying to say, which I actually don't mind, but I just wanted to point that out because that is a difference. Ooh, that's a really beautiful color. That definitely looks like a skin tone. So it's got a good amount of pigment. It's not the most pigmented shadows I've ever used, but that's okay. Sometimes I think when mattes especially are just that pigmented right off the bat, they can be harder to blend, where this one you can, I do think you can build it up, but you get a good amount of color from that initial application. It's not one that you have to work to get it to show up, but it also allows you to build and it's not too intense when you first apply it. That's really pretty. That color is beautiful. Okay, yeah, you definitely have to kind of go in a couple times to build it if you want more color, but I think that's good because there's some versatility there. That's pretty. This color is so beautiful. This is a beautiful transition color. I love that. It's warm, but it's not too orangey. I actually like that. It's a little more sheer because you can really get that kind of diffused halo above your crease. It is so beautiful. I'm gonna work that into the brow a little bit. I think because it's more buildable, it allows a lot of room for correction, if that makes sense. Okay, next we're gonna go in, I'm gonna go into this shade right here, and we're gonna build that in the outer corner to create a little bit more depth. And I'm gonna use the BK Beauty 202 brush. I agree, there's really no fallout. I haven't had any fallout yet. That's pretty amazing. Without lash extensions, you know, I'm gonna have more fallout on my face. The lash extensions always caught that, but then it would get gross because it would get stuck in there and it was hard to clean. I find with formulas that come off a little more sheer but build easily, they're more foolproof because it's harder to mess up. Perfect. Oh, that's so pretty. I love the way these colors blend together. That's beautiful. I really love that. Okay, next I want to keep going. Next we're going to go in with this shade right here. It's a bit darker and obviously has a lot more red to it. So we're going to pop that right in the outer corner. Still no fallout, you guys, but that actually has a lot of richness to it. I need to blend out that one a little bit more. How fun are my earrings? I love them. I picked them up the other day from the Kendra Scott store. And I'm kind of loving them. I wore them on Instagram the other day and I got so many questions in my DMs about these earrings. So it's funny, Brooklyn, you know, Brooklyn started a new babysitting business, but she's too young to be, you know, to babysit left alone. So she's really kind of like a mom's helper. And so I took her over there to babysit my nephew who's 2, while my sister-in-law could just do things around the house and get things done. And Brooklyn, she wants me to drop her off. She doesn't want me to stay there with her because I think it makes her feel more like it's a job if I'm not there. And if I'm there, then it's not, you know what I mean? She's just like, please just drop me off, Mom. So my sister-in-law, and I only left her there for an hour and a half. So, and it's not enough time for me to come home and then back. So I kind of just found something to do to keep me occupied. And my sister-in-law lives like half a mile from the Kendra Scott flagship store, which is so beautiful. If you ever in Austin, you have to go by there. So I found myself in Kendra Scott shopping. And it's funny, I joke that Brooklyn makes $3 an hour and I think I spent, you know, $200 in an hour. Maybe not that much, but I did do a little shopping. Okay, that is so pretty. I love that. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put the matte palette down and I'm gonna get into the metallics palette. Okay, these look beautiful. I'm gonna leave a little sticker on here so I don't blind you guys with the reflection, but let's go ahead and dig in here and see. Oh my gosh. Okay, I just got this one top row here and it's like duochrome color. You can see a lot of pink, but you can also see orange there too. Okay, that's what that looks like. I'm going to include full swatches so you can see everything, but I just wanted to show that one because that's beautiful. I'm going to grab the ones that just really stand out to me. That color is gorgeous. Wow, that is so beautiful. Okay, I can totally see how these also are versatile. You can shear them out like I've done so, but I think you can also pick them up and pack them. Let's try the same color. I'm going to see how it looks if I pack it onto my hand. Okay, so this is what that same shade, I'm going to show you next to each other how they look. Okay, so you've got the one that's sheared out and then you've got next to it the same color, but it's packed on a bit. So I think that's what he was talking about, you know, being able to get versatility out of the payoff of these. Okay, and the last one I want to do is, I want to do this shade right here. It's like this really pretty kind of purpley cranberry color. Okay, so some of these shadows have a bit more sparkle to them. They all are shimmery, but it looks like some of them have more sparkle. So for example, this one that I just put here is shimmery, but it doesn't have that level of sparkle like the ones up top do. So there is some variation in the formula a bit. Okay, I'm excited. Let's see what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something fun. I'm not gonna do the lightest or the most neutral shade in the palette like I usually do. I will have some fun here. Okay, so what do we have on the eyes? Let's see. I kind of want to try, let's actually try this shade, the first one that I swatched that had that kind of duochrome color to it. All right, I almost want to use my finger actually. I'm going to use my finger. So I'm going to use my index finger. We're going to load it up. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. That is really pretty. So I'm just gonna pack it on, but then I'm gonna take a brush to blend it out. And when I say blend it out, I'm just talking kind of about the inner corner and then blend it into the outer corner work we did. That's really pretty. I do want to tone it down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this brush. What do I have here? Okay, let's just take the BK Beauty 207 brush. It's our pencil brush, but it's got more of a rounded tip. I am going to grab the lightest shade right here for the inner corner, but I'm also going to work with a couple other shades too. So we can see a few more shades in here. I'm going to pop this right here in the inner corner, and this is just going to kind of blend and soften that up a bit. I'm going to layer it over that pink too. You can layer these shadows on top of each other. Okay. Okay, next I'm going to take a, this is a Sonia Kashuk large eyeshadow brush. I'm going to dig into, should we mix this purple? I kind of want to mix this purple. Yeah, I kind of want to play with this purple right here. So we're going to go in here with this shade right here, the cranberry purpley shade. And we're going to kind of put this here in the center of the lid to kind of blend that pink and the matte shades together. I am so blown away with how there is no fallout. I have not had any fallout on my eyes yet. That is crazy. And I'm playing with some pretty sparkly shades. Wow. How did he do that? I need the secret. Okay, so I'm gonna blend these two together. These shadows are really pretty when you layer them over each other. That's pretty. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. It actually kind of toned down the pinkness. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, I want to go back and layer some more matte shades. And so for that, we're going to go in. Let's actually do this one right here. It's more of a cool tone, deep, rich brown. Kind of want to take up the crease a little higher. Pretty. Okay, that is so beautiful. Okay, next we're going to try the brightening pencil. I'm gonna line the inner rim of my eye with this. I love a good brightening pencil. The key is to find one that is not too stark white, not too pink, not too yellow, but like a kind of nice warm peach shade. Okay, I like this because it's really creamy and I didn't have to like work it in to get it to show up. Especially when you're doing the inner rim here, you want something that you don't have to go back and forth a ton because that's a real sensitive area of the eye, obviously. You don't want to have a pencil that you're just kind of jabbing in there. I like the level of brightness with this. I think that it looks really natural. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and work on the lower lash line, and I'm using this Sigma Short Shader E20. It's kind of just what I have in front of me. And we're going to go into the palette, and I'm actually going to take this shade. It was the second shade that I used in the crease, and we're going to work that and start building a eyeliner. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, I have had zero fallout. That is crazy. Wow. Okay, I also want to deepen it up a little more, so I'm going to use this shade here. It's kind of the darkest red shade that we have, reddish brown, and I'm going to just add this to the outer corner. That's pretty. That's really pretty. And then I'm going to take whatever's left and kind of work it into the outer corner lash line here. That is beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna take my concealer brush that I used. Do I have it here? Well, it has grown legs. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab this Sigma brush and I'm just gonna kind of brush underneath the eyes. There really was no fallout there. That's impressive. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and apply eyeliner and lashes, and I'll be right back. So this is the finished look. I love the way that it came out. I really, really love this shadow formulation, you guys. Now, I will say this, they're not the most like in-your-face pigmented shadows when you first apply them. And I know that in all these videos, we always talk about how, wow, they're so pigmented, they're so rich, a little bit, applies on the eye and it's like super intense, which is great. Those are great qualities to have in an eyeshadow, but I like that this is buildable. I like that you can get a sheer wash of color from this, but you can also get an intense, payoff just by building it. I think it makes them very user-friendly and very easy to work with, especially when you are using a palette like this that is very bold and vibrant colors that have this much shimmer in a formula. I like that sheerness. One word that really stood out to me on the website, he says that the shadows melt into the skin, and I really do feel like that is the best way to describe an ideal shimmer shade of this level. You want it to just kind of melt within the skin. You don't want it to look Well, I shouldn't say that. You know, you want whatever you want, right? I like it to kind of melt in the skin. I like to be able to get a sheer layer, but build it if so. And in fact, I really want to even add a little more on my eyes. We're gonna go in here just for fun. And I'm gonna add this real coppery shade right here. It kind of reminds me of like a penny. And I'm just gonna kind of layer that onto the lid. These shadows are really great layered on top of each other. Because they are more sheer, you can layer them and create the most beautiful mix of colors. Okay, yeah, see how that slightly changed it? Really, really pretty. You know what I forgot to try, you guys? I forgot to test the Master Crystal Reflector. I did swatch this in the office yesterday, and I wasn't too impressed. I found it to be a little chunky. Let's see though. Okay, so this is what the color looks like. It looks so beautiful. I mean, doesn't that color look so beautiful? When I swatch it on my finger, you can tell just by looking at the finger that it's real chunky. You know what I mean? It's not like a real smooth, even product. You get a lot of glitter. And then on the hand, let me show you when I put it on the hand. So I'm really loading my finger up and trying to get this product on the hand, but look. And even actually on camera, that looks a little better than it does in real life. So this is definitely more of a chunky, glitterier product. When I rub it out, you just kind of see shimmer. You don't really see a consistent color. It's pretty, but it's definitely more of a chunkier product. This one, would probably be my pass out of what I purchased. Everything else I really like, but this would be what I would pass on. So overall, my thoughts are that I really like this formula, you guys. I think the key takeaways are that there's not any fallout. That's pretty impressive. They're a buildable color. So if you like matte shades that are just like a punch of color as soon as you apply them on the lid and you like that intensity right off the bat, you might be a little disappointed with this formula because you're not gonna get that, but you definitely can build it and get that color. But I don't wanna say it's like, and it's intentional. You know, it was intentionally designed that way, which I like. It's not like a disappointing matte where you can't get the color to blend together, you can't get it to be consistent, or it's patchy. It's not like that at all. I think it's an intentionally designed formula. And I really do think it kind of leans more pro because as a professional makeup artist, you're always looking for products that are versatile. You know, you don't want something that's just one way, that's just super intense and foiled, right? Or you don't want a foundation that's super flat and matte or super dewy and glowy. You want to find products that have versatility, that you can manipulate and get the desired look that you want. And I really think that these shadows achieve that. So, and the eyeliner in my inner rim is not irritating my eye. I mean, it's been on for like 30 minutes, but my eyes are not irritated by it at all. So, so overall, I am impressed with the products that I purchased. Again, the one pass, in my opinion, would be the Master Crystal Reflector, but everything else I have enjoyed. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have picked this up or you plan on picking it up, let's start a conversation in the comments. I would love to, know your thoughts on it if you already have this in hand and have been trying it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.